had taken his daughter. So he had a wife, Catherine, with a C. One of the daughters was Catherine with a K. He took his daughter, Catherine, on a tour of the Mediterranean Sea and parts of Europe. Along the way, he contracted smallpox. He died.
So
And because of the contagion, the best thing to do was to throw him overboard, bury him at sea.
Yeah.
And it said he's buried somewhere off the coast of Constantinople, is what I've read. So
okay. They use it before the stove like that for the winter time, right?
Yep. So the fireplaces would be for heating the home. Yeah.
That's cool. I saw you got another piano, probably of the family. Someone used those.
Oh, I'm certainly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly. As far as we know, none of the pianos or organs actually belong to the Becker family. But certainly, I'm sure they had something, and someone in the family played music. Next, Norman, we have his wife, Catherine. She lived for another 25 years. I like to think of her as the real head of the household for the mansion. We're here on the cabinet. We have a photograph of the first four children. The first four were girls of the six children. The fifth was a son, the only son, and then the youngest was a daughter, Cora, and this is actually 6-year-old Cora sitting next to a tree in the front yard of the Becker mansion. We have no pictures of Norman, the son.
Yes. On that time, the pictures was made black and white, so
Yeah, of course.
it's fine.
Yep.
So I don't know how many years exist that the camera when they released the first camera to do black and white probably is that camera over there.
It could be, yeah. So, kind of in the back of the parlor, we have a women's rights display. The desk in the corner belonged to Elizabeth Cady Stanton. She lived in Seneca Falls with her family from 1846 until 1862. The red rocking chair accompanying the desk belonged to Amelia Bloomer. She and her husband lived in Seneca Falls from 1841 until about 1855. And then on the cabinet, we have a photograph of Susan B. Anthony, and that photograph actually was taken by this woman, Grace Woodworth, who owned this camera. Grace grew up in Seneca Falls. She had a photography studio in Rochester around the turn of the century, and that is when she took the portraits of Susan B. Anthony.
Okay, let's go for another place. It's a beautiful room.
Yep, so from the parlor, we move into the dining room. This table and chairs did belong to the Becker family. And we actually have 9 of the chairs around the table to signify the 9 people that lived in the household when the family moved in here in 1891. It was Norman and Catherine. There are 6 children, and then Catherine's mother, Eliza Watkins.
Those, how many years exist?
How old are these? I am not certain. I would guess this around turn of the century.
Yeah, I love that. It's probably they came from China.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Yep.
So this is the dining room with 6 people. Nine people.
Yeah,
Nine
yeah.
people. Okay.
And actually, the table has 2 more leaves. You can make it a little bit bigger. So
Okay.
certainly they would have had other guests.
They use a silverware over there.
No, actually, this silverware belonged to Willimus Minders. Like I said, kind of a founding father for Seneca Falls. We have some silverware that's inscribed with Minders on the handle. A traveling tea set that belonged to Willimus. A wine decanter set. And then a tray that's inscribed to Lilius Minders, and that is either Edward Minders' wife or his daughter. They both were named
Okay.
Lilius.
The pan, they made it for cooking.
Yep, and this is actually from the Revolutionary War. So this exhibit in the alcove, on the one hand, celebrates the American Revolution, with this year being the 250th anniversary of the founding of America.
They use the telescope. How many feet can you watch? How many miles telescope?
Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah.
So this is very old telescope.
Yep, and then these panels and this map depict what was called the Sullivan Expedition. And that was a military campaign against the Haudenosaunee that were in this area. They were supplying the British with food and other supplies, and the Continental Army decided they needed to retaliate and then push them out. Here we have a tea set that belonged to the White House, right on this top shelf.
Beautiful tea set, I must
Yeah,
say.
so President James Monroe purchased this tea set during his administration of the late 1810s, early 1820s.
They made it. handmade all of those.
Oh, I'm certain. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This actually came. He bought it from France. In 1860s, Mary Lincoln, President Lincoln's wife,
president,
decided
yeah.
she wanted a new tea set. She gave this tea set to William
Wow.
Henry Seward, who
He was assassinated. Someone took it down here.
Yeah.
I remember that. So, Abraham Lincoln has very good story behind.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yep. So Mary Lincoln gave the tea set to William Henry Seward. He was the Secretary of State for the Lincoln administration. Seward also lived in Auburn, which by car today is about 20 minutes away. Obviously, a lot longer in his day. But William Henry Seward was friends with this gentleman, Gary Sackett, and he gave the tea set to Gary Sackett. And then in the 1980s, a descendant of Gary Sackett gave the tea set here to the Seneca Falls Historical Society.
Okay, let's go for another.
I'll point out opposite Gary Sackett is his wife Harriet. And
It's
you're
it
gonna-
over there.
yeah, you're going to hear a little bit more about her later on in the tour. So just keep in mind.
Yeah. Okay. Good. They use it about to fill up the gun.
Yep, so that's called powder horns. Yep, so you carry your gunpowder in that.
Cool. So I like those.
Next, we'll move into what's called the butler's pantry. This room has a variety of purposes. The first being, as you can see, to store all the dishes and silverware, things like that for serving the family. And the
It looks so nice.
yeah,
Organize it, you know.
on the cabinet here, I mentioned that we have 7 women who've worked in the home at different points in time. We have photographs of 2 of them, one being Sarah Irwin. She was a maid and nanny for the Becker family for just a couple of years in the 1910s. And then Mary Merrigan worked here from about the mid to late 1890s all the way until the early 1930s. So she was here for close to 40 years. She also lived here in the home. You'll see her bedroom on the 3rd floor. We've found 2 gentlemen who worked on the home. I failed to mention that in the Becker family's time, this was an estate that stretched all the way back to State Street, the next parallel street. And the family had vegetables and fruit and rose bushes and trees. Bernard Roundtree was the gardener here in the 1910s and 1920s. And then we have a gentleman who's identified simply as Billy the Stableman, and we know nothing else about him.
Okay.
But my favorite part of the butler's pantry actually is this door, speaking of the servants. This is the door that servants would use to enter and exit the home. They would not have been allowed to use the front door or any of the main doors. So they had their own door, especially if they worked here in the home but lived elsewhere in the village. Actually, that was the case with Sarah
That's cool.
Irwin. Yep.
This is very old
This is the
stuff.
kitchen. Yeah, this is about 1880s coal-fired stove.
Wow.
Not original to the home, but very close to what the family had here
Look
in
at
their
this.
time. Yeah, many uses: cooking food, baking muffins. This is a popcorn popper. You put your kernels in it and roll them over the stove. Waffle iron for making heart-shaped waffles. Kettle for heating water for tea. You could heat your irons. You could dry your clothes and linens. Next to it is a copper water heater for heating a lot of water for bath time, things like that. Next to it is an ice box, again, not original to the home, but close to what the Becker family had.
Yeah.
Their ice box actually would have been located through this door. Through this door was a pantry, and then the doors on either side originally led out to the back porch that is now our enclosed garage. And then from the porch into the pantry was a window, so the man delivering ice just passed this block of ice through the window and right into the ice box.
Okay, let's go for another.